Here we are on turn 4 and the Danes open things up. This is Warksow. The Danes open things up with their infantry. They were able to get the initiative. Both sides had one unit in charge. They switched into receive charge and mainly did salvo fires, drove off or disintegrated the entire right side of the Swedish infantry. However, the left side is standing pretty firm. Now the Swedish infantry in the center tried to pull back. The leader pulled back here to try to rally troops. Can't actually rally him though because he's stuck in charge orders. It did cause this unit to pull out, but the other unit that was up here basically disintegrated. Had an option of attacking in melee or being attacked in melee at better odds because of the salvo fire. So it went in even at a -1. It was destroyed. They did unlimber some guns, hoping to cover their retreat, but things look really, really bad for the Swedes. Got a couple cav over here, a couple infantry, and then this left wing, and that's it. Not that there's a lot of Danes on the ground, but they at least have this strong infantry line here. I really like how tiny this scenario is. I think it's one of the smallest I've seen in the series. Swedes attempted to charge with their right-wing cav to get behind the Danish line. There was one Danish cav unit that was able to protect, counter-charging, destroyed the first unit. The second unit came up, smacked it, destroyed it, but ran it off the ground. And so now there is no Swedish right cav wing. We go over to the Swedish left cav wing, which goes next. But this is really, this is a lost battle at this point. There's just nothing that can be done. Okay, and that's the end of the turn. On to turn 5. The Danes swept up. They couldn't quite actually overrun those guns because their formation, their orders didn't allow it. But they're now behind the infantry with their cav. Their infantry is positioned in a manner, ooh, that's nasty, to prevent the Danes from, or the Swedes from really being able to do much. They're going to have to withdraw. That's the way I see it. And some of them are withdrawing whether they like it or not. 1, 2, 3, 4. But yeah, I just do not see the Swedes holding their position at all here. And they might as well get this cav out of the way. It's really not doing any good where it is. Alright, I guess on to turn 5. So we're in a situation here, and I'm activating this Swedish wing, the infantry wing, which is under charge, that disturbs me a little bit about the system. The command control roles require that this guy get himself into command. The charge order has very little to do with what the commander has to do. He doesn't have to move forward. He doesn't have to do anything. That bugs me. He can run away and, you know, it's not the same as a rally event, but it can get them away. I feel like that's a violation of the spirit of what these charge orders are. Yes, to some extent I understand it's the troops surging forward and not being able to stop them, but there's also got to be, to me, some kind of, hey, the commander is caught up in it or not. Now, the commander's caught up in this route, actually, but it just disturbs me, and I feel like it's a situation that the command and control rules do not handle as well as, say, the Civil War Brigade series. Or it's the first time that it's really hit me that this could be a problem. I'm going to play it by the rules, mainly because I don't think it makes a damn bit of difference in this battle. But it does kind of make me feel uncomfortable. It's a shame I didn't capture this piece by piece. This is what I saw in the first game, the pure cav battle. And the first time I played it, I was so totally unready for it that it just left me dazed and wondering what the hell happened. But here it was just so beautifully enacted. The Swedish wing here decides to try to pull out. One of the units turns around, gets intercepted, harassed by a 1 strength point Danish unit. It destroys the 1 strength point Danish unit, but, or actually it repulses it, driving it back, but it gets a pursuit result on the cav pursuit table. So it has to chase it all the way back here, I think, somewhere back here, and to destroy it. Okay, the 1 strength point unit's in the dead pile, big deal. But now the commander went with this. So this other unit had to move forward, leaving this guy out of command because he's already started off and on his merry way out of there. And a Danish unit is adjacent and can declare a melee attack and ends up destroying the unit that swept in. So you've got this in and then back out, all in one phase, all in one pulse. The leader's gone, so now there's no possibility of a continuation. And we jump over to, I think both the Danish commands are up now. The 2 remaining in receive charge. But the first time that I saw that happening, it just left me kind of flabbergasted. I couldn't figure out what was going on. But here, maybe because of the smaller number of units or because of my getting a little bit more familiar with the system, the cav battle really looked beautiful as it unfolded. Something that I have not seen in another game, to tell you the truth, that wave back and forth. I've seen games that handle cav in some detail, but no system that has generated this much of the chaos of a cav on cav fight. And it was really pretty to watch. And the turn pretty much ends on the same note. We had 1 Swedish cav left here, adjacent to a Danish cav. The Danish cav tries to reform, the Swedes shoot at it. Another Danish cav here reacts to that, a melee that ensues, which destroys the Danes, with a charge. That destroys the Swedes, the Danes run off the board, the entire cav wing's gone. What do the Swedes have left? They have a cannon and a horse, and that's it. The Danes have a lot more on the board, but they're not in tremendously good shape for moving. However, they can probably get this cannon out of the way. I see no point in continuing this at this point. There's just nothing. There's no fight anymore. But this is actually the only game that I've ever seen, as well as with those cav results that I've seen, that seems to really accurately handle a pursuit. Most games that I've seen, a pursuit just doesn't feel right. Here, the cav, wow, it's so potent in this game. I don't know if it's just that it's so potent across the board in this game, but when you're playing Napoleonics or something, cav is fairly potent, but the pursuit never feels right the way this one does. I don't know what it is. Anyway, I'm going to send this one up. I know it's a little short. I know I'm cutting the game, real short, but there ain't much left. Do you want me to kill every last Swede? But, yeah. And then I'll come back with my assessment of Nothing Gained But Glory, primarily within the series as a whole. I think I've done the series justice in my prior discussion, and I want to look at this one in particular out of the series. Now, I've only played one other, so that's kind of not as informative as some people would be able to give, I'm sure.